DJ Charlie Hustle, the $1 Million DJ, back at it again with another hip-hop vibe exclusive. The man to the left of me, my core brother, a mentor of mine, someone who I've listened to when I first moved to Atlanta back in '94.
Don't make me too old. Don't do it, bro.
I'm not. The infamous, the legendary, I'm inside the labs with DJ Nabs.
No doubt. I'm holding, my equivalent of the Grammy right here for respect to DJs right here in ATL. So it's a good day.
Now, Nabs, you have to give them a little knowledge for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Those who've been in a box, someone stuck in a rap or whatever for the last 20 years. Tell them who you are.
Well, resident So Def DJ from Criss Cross in the early 90s all the way to, through Bow Wow, Jagged Edge, Brat, and later hip-hop radio here in Atlanta, just helping move the careers of people like Ludacris and Outkast and Goody Mob, et cetera, along, when the Dirty South, was really trying to make their mark in the early days. I was just here as one of the DJs who helped move it all along. I did my own album in '98. I actually put Ludacris on that album as well, like a old
that was a very dope album.
Yeah.
Very dope album. Lot of issue with that album though, because you had an original live version that you couldn't use though, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. And what we're talking about, I had an old school night called Old School Sundays at this club called Kaya, which is legendary here in Atlanta, and I made a live mix CD, and then I got a record deal with Columbia Records for it, but I couldn't actually clear the first version because sample clearance, you put something on the street, especially back then, that's one thing, but to get an actual record deal, you had to do licensing, so that's how I ended up coming up with a second version. But some people only know one version.
Right.
Yep.
So you've been on the road.
Yep.
You've done from Criss Cross, Jermaine, Monica, Sierra.
Yeah.
Too many acts for me to name.
Right.
But the one thing I do want to know is that back when you was on the road to Criss Cross, R.I.P. Chris Kelly, the late,
no doubt, my brother.
Chris Kelly. What was it like? Because from just me being when I was a kid, watching them, that was one of my favorite childhood groups. But what was it like being on the road with them and the aura of Mike and just the atmosphere in general?
Probably the way I would compare it to today is if I was DJing for Justin Bieber and they were on the Jay-Z and Beyonce World Tour.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's what it was like. Criss Cross was huge. It was a fashion statement. The record jumped. No matter what country you were in, everybody understood a record where you jumped. You understand? Right. It was just that transparent. And Michael Jackson asking Criss Cross to be on that tour, and me being Criss Cross's DJ. The Dangerous Tour was my first tour.
Okay.
And so that was just huge because it was in Europe and Michael Jackson was huge. That's it. And like I said, you can take the biggest pop act now, and that was Michael Jackson back then, maybe bigger. So it was fast. It was fast and furious. That's how it was.
Okay. Now you're one of the I can't say few, but not a lot who actually has vinyl, has digital, and has like the whole media presence right now.
Yeah.
And I know one documentary that you've been working on, and you've been working on this for some years.
Yeah.
And that's the Diary of a Mad DJ.
Well, it's actually American DJ Story. Was the initial title.
Okay.
It's a collection of all this content and footage that I've kept up with over the past 20 years.
Okay.
The Michael Jackson tour, the radio station Hot 97.5, which is Atlanta's first rap station.
Right.
That when that station was in a trailer, when Ludacris was my intern, when Lala was running around introducing Big Pun for Birthday Bash one year.
Right.
All this is footage that I have. So I started working on a documentary, and in trying to do that, I decided to do a street DVD called Diary of a Mad DJ, which I put out. And then most recently, I licensed footage for Ludacris's Behind the Music. All of that radio station footage you see of Ludacris is my footage. So I licensed that, and I just recently did another deal with VH1 for a news story they're doing on Atlanta.
Okay.
The history of Atlanta. And so it's just kind of something that it was I'm gonna say a hobby, but it was something that I do, and I'm making a business out of it. So it basically started as a documentary idea, and now is a licensing pool of content.
Okay. That's a very, very, very dope loop. Very dope.
Let me tell you something. DJs are entrepreneurs, first of all. You know, even when I was 12, 13, 14 years old and I got $50 to DJ my first party, and then I started doing my own flyers because I didn't like how somebody did my flyers. Okay. You know, translating that all the way to years later as a grown man, you know, it's just something that DJs have to do. That's why we last so long in this business. We don't always get the respect. But
right, very true.
And it takes time. So even if I'm licensing footage or throwing my own parties like I did at Kaya, or getting my own record deal for a mixtape, like everybody put mixtapes out for free, but in 1997, I got a big check from Columbia Records to put out a mixtape because my mind stays on business because this is what I do for a living for real. So,
and a lot of the push button DJs, what we like to call them, that don't really know that, don't really understand this business.
Yeah, and you know, and even with the push button DJs, you know, technology is definitely something to be used and embraced. But when you don't learn the basics, learning how to mix and scratching and crowd control and all those things, and you just push a button, you know, I don't have a problem. I'll push a button, but I'll do everything I just spoke about at the same time. It's just when all you want to do is push a button and call yourself a DJ, that's when I got a problem with it. And really, I don't even know why I got such a problem with it, because at the end of the day, they're not going to go but so far with it. So.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and give them your social media info and everything that you're still doing here in the city?
DJNavs.com is my website. You can always find me there. And of course, my Twitter is DJ Navs in Lab. My Instagram is DJ Navs in Lab. My Facebook is DJ Navs. So that's me.
You can get at me, Core DJ Charlie Hustle, on Shade 45 for Sirius XM Satellite Radio, doing Core DJ Radio Sundays at 9 a.m. and Tuesdays at midnight. You can also catch me here in the city doing a Friday night mixtape on Atlanta's Underground Radio for Love 860/1100. You can download the official DJ Charlie Hustle app by searching DJ Charlie Hustle for Android, iPhone, and Amazon Kindle. And you can always keep up with me, the $1 Million DJ, at $1 Million DJ on Instagram and Twitter. For hip hop, that's a hustle, ain't it?
That's a hustle, man.
That's a hustle. For hiphopvibe.com, Tunnel Vision TV, respect the DJs. Right here you see the award, respect the DJs. The DJs started, the DJs will end it, the DJs will always have a job as long as we got a power source. Nab said it best.
You damn skippy.
We out of here.
Peace.